What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Involving C or Brady, whichever you prefer. And today I'm bringing you guys the Arizona Cardinals general manager rebuild. The first one we did was a Las Vegas Raiders rebuild. I can only do the general manager stuff, such as drafting, sign free agents, off-season free agents, whatever free agents, staff. The only thing I can't do is play the actual games themselves. So let's get into it. First, we're gonna start with the roster. There are three guys here that I want to build around. I want to build around Marvin Harrison Jr., a wide receiver. I think the second player I want to build around is Trey McBride, and Buda Baker I want to build around. Buda Baker already has the captain patch on. Anyway, the other players we have is Kyler Murray, who I'm not committed to him. I'm just going to put that out there. So we also have James Conner at running back. He's getting older. He's 30 years old. So this has to be the first one where I don't see Aaron Rodgers retiring. So if I can, maybe I move off of Kyler Murray now. Maybe bring in Aaron Rodgers if I can, since the Jets are going to be moving off of him anyway. We are going to be trading Kyler Murray to the Saints for cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry, as well as a 2026 second round pick and a 2025 fourth round pick. We are going to be trading a 2026 third round pick, a 2025 fourth round pick, and a 2026 fourth round pick to the Jets for quarterback Aaron Rodgers to come to the Cardinals. We have brought in right tackle Trent Brown on a 1-year deal, inside linebacker Shaq Thompson on a 1-year, right guard Will Hernandez on a 2-year, kicker Brandon McManus on a 2-year, defensive tackle Tierra Tart on a 1-year, wide receiver Tyler Boyd on a 2-year, left edge rusher Marcus Davenport on a 1-year, defensive tackle Maurice Hurst on a 1-year, punter Matt Areza on a 2-year, left guard Lucas Patrick on a 1-year, right side linebacker Devin White on a 1-year, and left tackle Joe Noteboom on a 1-year deal. We're now going to be heading into the draft. We're going to be drafting Sidney Callaway. We got a hidden dev on Sidney Callaway. We are bringing in Emmanuel Moreland in the interior linebacker. He is ranked number 10 in true value. We drafted him at 48. He does have a normal dev though. Alright, Sidney Callaway, a first round pick out of North Carolina State, is an 81 overall. He's a hidden dev, and we said we were going to move him to the left guard. Then interior linebacker Emmanuel Moreland. Emmanuel Moreland was a normal dev. With the third round pick, we drafted Jeremy Barnes out of Mississippi State, a 69 overall, normal dev. Keenan Madison in the fourth round, he's a 67 overall. He was a normal dev. And then the last pick of the Alfonso Walton in the fifth round. He's a 63 overall, hidden dev. We are signing quarterback Jacoby Brissett to a 1-year. He's going to be backing up Aaron Rodgers. I will see you guys at midseason. And we are 0-6 at midseason. Wonderful. I love it. Sidney Callaway is a superstar, 81 overall. Jalen Thompson wants to come back. Okay. That's the free safety. We're going to need a... What the heck? Aaron Rodgers, 1,241 yards, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 13 sacks taken. Rushing-wise, James Conner with 301 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 fumbles. Trey Benson, 85 yards. Aaron Rodgers with 79 yards. Receiving, Marvin Harrison, 339 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael Wilson, 254 yards, 4 touchdowns. Trey McBride, 222 yards. Tyler Boyd, 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. Marcus Davenport with 4 sacks. Darius Robinson with 2.5. Shaq Thompson with 1 interception. We're 3-14. Sweet. Alright, Aaron Rodgers passed for 3,619 yards, 25 touchdowns, 22 interceptions, and he took 31 sacks. Rushing-wise, James Conner has 926 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers ran for 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trey Benson, 216. Receiving-wise, Michael Wilson, 977 yards, 13 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison, 815 yards, 3 touchdowns. Trey McBride, 750 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tyler Boyd, 648 yards, 4 touchdowns. Paris Johnson allowed 8 sacks. Trent Brown allowed 7 sacks. I'm not going to pronounce his name again. Our center allowed 7 sacks as well. Shaq Thompson leads with the team with tackles with 116 tackles. Marcus Davenport with 7 sacks. Shaq Thompson with 3 interceptions. Sean Murphy Bunting with 3 interceptions as well. Kool-Aid McKinstry with 1. Marcus Davenport and Zaven Collins lead with tackles for loss, I think. Franchise tag. Marcus Davenport is coming back on a 2-year. We have signed 5 players this free agency. We have signed running back Rachaad White on a 3-year deal. Defensive tackle DJ Reader on a 2-year. Right tackle Ryan Ramczyk on a 1-year deal. Defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt on a 1-year. And we have brought back Aaron Rodgers on a 1-year, even though he had a horrible season. We're drafting quarterback Zach Gibbs at number 3. He was ranked number 1. We drafted him at number 3. We got an A+. He's a hidden dev. Okay. We also have 2 round 2 picks. We're drafting center Brad Foote. He's ranked number 82. We drafted him at 35. He's a hidden dev. We have drafted defensive tackle who's we're going to probably move to an edge position. We drafted Ernie Howard at 59. He was ranked at 59. We drafted him at 45. He's a hidden dev. So needy. Fine. I just traded up for right guard Clyde Kelly. He was ranked number 6 in true value. We drafted him at 46. He's a normal dev, though. Zach Gibbs, quarterback. He's a 77 overall. Hidden dev. With our second pick, we drafted center Brad Foote. He's a 71 overall. He's a hidden dev. We drafted defensive tackle Ernie Howard. He's a 73 overall. He's a hidden dev. We traded up for right guard Clyde Kelly. Clyde Kelly is a 73 overall, or 76 overall, normal dev. In the 6th round, we drafted Tyrone Jackson, a left linebacker, 67 overall. One of the 7th round picks, we drafted Evan Wallace, right side linebacker, 62 overall. And then the second one, we drafted wide receiver BJ Nance, 67 overall, and he was a normal dev. Alright, we will see you guys at midseason. We are 3-4 at midseason, which is a lot better than 0-6, I will say. Zach Gibbs becomes a star dev, 79 overall. Brad Foote is still a hidden right now. He's close to unlocking a dev trait. Maybe it'll be a superstar, fingers crossed. Ernie Howard is a star dev, 174 in cap space. We finally re-signed Trey McBride on a 7-year deal. Michael Wilson is back. He's here to stay. Garrett Williams is back. Passing-wise, Zach Gibbs passed for 1,421 yards, 14 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, taken 11 sacks. Rushing-wise, Rachaad White with 332 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zach Gibbs with 118 yards, 1 touchdown. Trey Benson has 28 yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving-wise, Marvin Harrison has 419 yards, 4 touchdowns. Tyler Boyd with 345 yards, 4 touchdowns. Michael Wilson, 309 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rachaad White has 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trey McBride has 200 yards. Mac Wilson leading with 46 tackles. Ernie Howard with 6 tackles for loss. Zaven Collins with 5.5 sacks. And Zaven Collins and Buda Baker both have 1 interception. We have a 6-11 record heading into the wild card. Brad Foote is a star dev. Not a superstar, but I'm not going to be picky there. Zach Gibbs, 3,444 yards, 25 touchdowns, 26 interceptions, took 26 sacks. Rachaad White had 751 yards, 7 touchdowns. Zach Gibbs with 305 yards, 3 touchdowns. Trey Benson with 162 yards and 4 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison has 910 receiving yards with 5 touchdowns. Tyler Boyd with 727 yards, 6 touchdowns. Michael Wilson with 722 yards, 5 touchdowns. Trey McBride with 595 yards, 4 touchdowns. Rachaad White with 202 yards and 3 touchdowns. Defense, Mack Wilson Sr. has 99 tackles total. Ernie Howard has 12 tackles for loss. Zaven Collins has 7 sacks. Sean Murphy Bunting and Mack Wilson Sr. both have 3 interceptions, leading the team. Looks like it's a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl, rematch of the first Super Bowl between the Packers and the Chiefs. I hope the Packers can pull it off. Aaron Rodgers, Brandon McManus, Matt Araiza can come on a 2-year. Y'all are probably going to hate me, but we just brought in interior linebacker Fred Warner from the Niners. We signed him on a 6-year deal. We brought in left tackle Ronnie Stanley, who we're going to have play right tackle. He's here on a 2-year deal. We brought in defensive tackle Deron Payne on a 2-year. Wide receiver Quentin Johnson on a 2-year. And Logan Hall on a 3-year. We are trading back with the Buffalo Bills. We are sending our first round, pick 6, to Buffalo for their 2027 first, the 2028 first, the 2028 second, 2028 fifth, and 2028 seventh. We drafted Mike Woodyard probably pretty early than we needed to. He was ranked 74 and we drafted him at 28. He's a hidden dev. We are drafting safety Trevon Dobbins. He was ranked 32. We drafted him at 70. He's a normal dev. Alright, let's see how we did in the draft. We drafted Mike Woodyard, 72 overall, who we're going to move over to the left side. He's a hidden dev. Not sure if this changes anything for him. Still 72. In the third round, we drafted Trevon Dobbins. He's a 74 overall, normal dev. Right tackle, Spencer Freeman, a 66 overall. He's a normal dev. Linebacker, Terrell Money, 65 overall, normal dev. Right edge rusher, Markel Young, a 63 overall, normal dev trait. And then the last one we got, kicker, Jerry Shepard, 65 overall, hidden dev trait. We are bringing right side linebacker, Jamin Davis, on a 1-year deal. At free safety, we are bringing in Jay Ward. At corner, we are bringing in Keely Ringo. To be our backup center, we are bringing in Austin Corbett. And to be our backup quarterback, we are bringing in Drew Lock. All right, we will see you guys at mid-season. At mid-season, we are 3-3. Buda Baker, I'll offer a 3-year. Yep, we're keeping in Buda Baker in town. Paris Johnson's back on a 4-year deal. We're going to let everybody else walk because we have $47 million. Passing, Zach Gibbons has 1,403 yards, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Rushing, Rachaad White has 330 yards, 4 touchdowns. Trey Benson has 128 yards, 3 touchdowns. Zach Gibbs has 128 yards and 1 touchdown. Receiving, Marvin Harrison has 467 yards, 2 touchdowns. Quentin Johnston has 309 yards and 3 touchdowns. Michael Wilson has 271 yards and 5 touchdowns. Defense, Fred Warner leads with 34 tackles. Ernie Howard has 3 total tackles for loss. He's tied with DJ Reader. Deron Payne has the most sacks on the team with 2.5. Buda Baker and Max Melton tied with 2 interceptions each. And then Garrett Williams and Jalen Thompson both have 1. We have a 6-11 record again. Woodyard is a superstar X Factor. I'm excited about that one. It's time something good happened for the defense, though. Offense and defenses are both 86. Maybe it is time we go for a wide receiver. wide receiver, running back, both seem like good options here. Zach Gibbs has 3,773 yards, 30 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, 22 sacks taken. Rushing wise, Rachaad White has 837 yards, 7 touchdowns. Zach Gibbs has 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. Trey Benson has 284 yards, 5 touchdowns. Receiving wise, Michael Wilson has 1,042 yards, 13 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison has 986 yards, 5 touchdowns. Quentin Johnston has 791 yards, 8 touchdowns. Trey McBride has 490 yards, 2 touchdowns. Fred Warner leads the team with tackles with 106. Ernie Howard leads the team with tackles for loss with 11. Ernie Howard also leads the team with sacks with 8. And Max Melton leads the team with interceptions with 4, with Buda Baker having 3. We're going to be firing Adam Rogers and Daniel Moore. We'll hire Jarrett House. Then for defense, we'll hire Clyde Holland. Sidney Callaway, we're accepting the 5th-year option. Kool-Aid McKinstry is back on a 2-year. Alright, the 3 players we've signed, we brought in right tackle Roger Rosengarten on a 3-year deal. Inside linebacker Robert Spillane on a 1-year. And Chris Broswell on a 4-year deal. We will be drafting left edge rusher Quentin Hazel. He was ranked at number 6, and we drafted him at number 6. We got an A+. He's a hidden dev. We'll be drafting wide receiver Mitch Harris with our second first-round pick. He's ranked 65, and we drafted him at 32. Normal dev. We're sending a 2028 third-round pick, a 2028 fifth-round pick, and a 2029 second-round pick to the Bears for their 2028 second-round pick to move up. And we will be drafting tight end Jordan Shaw with this pick. He's ranked 61. We drafted him at 33. He's a hidden dev. We will be drafting free safety Dylan Williams. Dylan Williams was ranked number 15, and we drafted him at number 64. We got a B. He's a normal dev. Okay, let's see. With our first round pick, pick 6, Quentin Hazel is a 77 overall. Hidden dev. Wide receiver Mitch Harris is a 73 overall. He's a normal dev. Round 2, pick 1, we drafted Jordan Shaw. He's a 73 overall, hidden dev. Round 2, pick 32, we drafted Dylan Williams. He's a 76 overall. He's a normal dev. Round 4, pick 6, Jaleel Wheeler. He's a 72 overall, inside linebacker. He's a hidden dev. Round 5, pick 6, Peter Stanford's a 65 overall. He's a hidden dev trait. Round 6, pick 6, we drafted Alton Williams, an outside linebacker. He's a 62 overall. He's a normal dev. Round 7, pick 6, we drafted fullback Cole Bradshaw. He's a 70 overall. He's a hidden dev as well. And then the runt of them all, round 7, pick 32, Mr. Irrelevant himself, Lance Moss, 59 overall. He's a normal dev. I'll come back to you guys when we're at mid-season. At mid-season, we are at 4-3. Hazel is a star dev. Buda Baker went down to a star. He was a superstar X Factor before. We are really missing a window. Passing-wise, Zach Gibbs has 1,943 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Rushing, Rachaad White has 351 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 fumble. Zach Gibbs has 106 yards. Receiving-wise, Marvin Harrison has 476 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael Wilson has 424 yards, 4 touchdowns. Trey McBride has 307 yards, 5 touchdowns. Rachaad White has 290 yards, 2 touchdowns. Quentin Johnston has 238 yards, 3 touchdowns. Defense, Fred Warner leads the team with total tackles with 43. Deron Payne has 4 tackles for loss. Ernie Howard has 2 sacks. Fred Warner has 2 interceptions. Marvin Harrison is coming back on a 3-year deal. Year 4, our record is 8-9. Passing wise, Zach Gibbs has 4,141 yards, 35 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Rashad White has 739 yards, 7 touchdowns. Zach Gibbs has 300 yards and 1 touchdown. Receiving wise, Marvin Harrison has 1,069 yards, 6 touchdowns. Michael Wilson has 929 yards, 11 touchdowns. Trey McBride has 721 yards and 7 touchdowns. Rashad White has 535 yards, 3 touchdowns. Quentin Johnson has 532 yards and 5 touchdowns. Fred Warner leads the team with 108 tackles. Ernie Howard has 7 tackles for loss. Quentin Hazel has 5.5 sacks. And Fred Warner has 3 interceptions. Wyatt Teller at the end of this free agency, we have just brought in cornerback Marlon Humphrey for a 3-year deal. Cornerback George Callaway on a 6-year deal. Wide receiver Pat Buchanan on a 5-year deal. Defensive tackle Jordan Davis on a 3-year deal. And we brought back inside linebacker Emmanuel Moreland on a 5-year deal. And one more addition, Dre Greenlaw is here on a 2-year deal as well. Guess you could call us the Arizona Niners. We're drafting safety Marquise Gates. He was ranked 62 in true value. We drafted him at 12. He's a normal dev. He has 91 speed. We are trading safety Buda Baker, 2029 third-round pick, and a 2030 first-round pick to the New York Giants for the 2029 first-round pick. And with that pick, we are drafting running back Alex Starks. Alex Starks was ranked number 13 in true value, and we drafted him at number 13. He's a normal dev, but he has 94 speed. We have drafted strong safety Marquise Gates, normal dev, 74 overall. And then we traded up with the New York Giants. We also drafted in the first round Alex Starks, running back, a 76, normal dev. In the 5th round, we drafted left edge rusher Terrell Hayes, a 66 overall. He's a normal dev. In the 6th round, we drafted Eric Manning, 62 overall, normal dev. And in the 7th round, we drafted corner Jason Donnell, 69 overall, normal dev. Alright, at midseason, the Cardinals are 3-3. What's new? It's like Gibbs got injured. He's out for 1 week. We have traded quarterback Sam Hartman in 2030 4th-round pick to the Steelers for one of their backup quarterbacks, Taylor Wilkins. Zach Gibbs, I'm not sure when he got injured, but he has 929 yards, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Let's take a look at the Sam Hartman real quick. Sam Hartman has 598 yards, 7 touchdowns. Yes, it's not Sam Hartman, it's Stephen Hartman. But anyway, he got 598 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Rushing wise, Alex Starks has 236 yards, 3 touchdowns. Zach Gibbs has 63 yards, 1 touchdown. Receiving wise, Marvin Harrison Jr. has 421 yards, 1 touchdown. Receiving wise, Marvin Harrison Jr. has 421 yards, 1 touchdown. Trey McBride has 339 yards and 3 touchdowns. Pat Buchanan has 274 yards, 3 touchdowns. Alex Starks has 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. Isaac Williams has 134 yards, 4 touchdowns. Defense, Fred Warner leads the team with 46 tackles. Jordan Davis has 6 tackles for loss. Chris Broswell has 3.5. Marlon Humphrey has 5 interceptions. We will be back by playoffs. 11-6, we made playoffs. Let's go! It's probably going to be one and done though, so I don't know why I'm celebrating. Zach Gibbs has 3,500 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. The backup, Taylor Wilkins, we traded for from the Steelers, has 172 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rushing wise, Alex Starks has 788 yards, 5 touchdowns. Zach Gibbs has 289 yards, 2 touchdowns. Peter Stanford has 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving wise, Pat Buchanan has 1,055 yards, 13 touchdowns. Trey McBride has 924 yards, 7 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr. has 916 yards, 6 touchdowns. Isaac Williams has 587 yards, 8 touchdowns. Alex Starks has 449 yards, 5 touchdowns. Fred Warner leads the team with 125 tackles. Ernie Howard has 11 tackles for loss. And Quentin Hazel has 9 sacks. Marlon Humphrey has 6 interceptions. That's quite the improvement on offense and defense. But fingers crossed, we make it to the divisional. We make it to the divisional. Let's go! Can we make it to the NFC Championship? Fingers crossed. And we lose to the Commanders. Nice. At least it wasn't a 1 and out. Alex Stark is Offensive Rookie of the Year. Sidney Callaway was the best offensive lineman at number 1. Alex Starks went up to a star dev. Trey McBride is at a superstar dev. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. And if you want to see me do a part 2 to the Raiders rebuild or the Cardinals rebuild, where I do an extra 5-year, then let me know in the comments too. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.